Good morning, Prof Susan Visser. Are you well?
Thank you. Prof Jan, yes, I'm well, thank you.
Prof Susan, thank you for making yourself available to do a short bonbon with yourself this morning. For me, it's a privilege to have this discussion with you. On a personal note, Prof Susan Visser was the person that recruited me way back in 2004 to start to work at the Northwest University in the Potchefstroom campus. So the reason why I'm talking to Prof Visser today is that she's a remarkable leader, and not only a remarkable leader, a woman leader that made big strides at this institution, the Northwest University, but also in the wider academic context. Prof Susan has got almost 50 years a road that she walked with this university, obtaining 6 qualifications at this place. And Prof Susan, before I say too much, can you briefly introduce yourself to the audience?
I'm a retired professor in management, accounting and finance, and currently still employed by the Northwest University. My academic career started in 1976 when I was appointed as a junior lecturer at that stage, the first woman to be appointed in an academic position in the Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences at the Potchefstroom University, rather called Potchefstroom University for Christian Higher Education, but I will take the abbreviation there. And after 42 years of service, I climbed the ladder up to Vice Director Research and Planning through different management positions. After my retirement, I was appointed in 2018 as Grant Manager for earmarked academic grants at the Deputy Vice Chancellor's Teaching and Learning, as well as the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research and Innovations Offices. In this position, I have the opportunity to manage 5 earmarked grants from the Department of Higher Education and Training to fund opportunities for students and staff to develop in those fields of scarce skills and aiming to improve equity numbers in these fields.
Prof Susan, so as part of this journey at the NWU, you were the former Dean of the Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences, and after
Yes.
that you had the position of Vice Director for Research.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this grants that you currently manage is now post-retirement, that you're still involved at the university.
Yes. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity. It was totally, I would say, I've never been working with that, but it was totally out of my part coming from the academic side. But I really enjoyed because it's not just for managing the finances. I have to report on everything to the Department of Higher Education and Training, and of course, to get the best for this university.
But Prof Susan, tell us about the award that you received. Was it the most influential woman in South Africa?
Yes, you asked me about if I have any pinnacle or life achievements, and I think I have a few, seeming that I'm, it's small things, but for me, it meant a lot, yes. I received that award, the most influential woman in education and training in South Africa in 2011. From the CEO, it means for the celebrating excellence in organizations. Furthermore, I was the first one to obtain a doctor's degree in accounting sciences at this university. I was also the first woman to be promoted to a professor in the school as well as in the Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences. And I was awarded several other national awards, like the one from Deloitte in 24 regarding the teaching and learning, outstanding or contribution to I made to the teaching of accountants or in the training of accountants. And later on in 28, I also received an award for the contribution to accounting research in South Africa. The most recent one was in 2019 as a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Southern African Accounting Association for my contribution to the training of accountants in South Africa.
So a lifelong achievements on which you can be very proud. But Prof Susan, I think, you know, with a focus on Women Month in August of this year, the following question bears relevance for me, and it goes like this: is during the late 70s and 80s, the university working environment was a different place. What were the challenges you as an upcoming academic experienced, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Yes, as I mentioned, I was appointed as a junior lecturer in 1976, and female, and of course at that stage we were not benefited like the males. It's not a complaint. I will tell you how I did accept these challenges, but later on in 1978 it differed, it changed. First, you were appointed at a lower compa ratio than a male. There was less contribution to your pension fund than males, as well as you were not allowed for subsidy for housing. The reason for that was that they want the females to marry, which was one of that rectors, Professor Bingle, that was his answer. But in 1978, it did change. And I was appointed in a faculty which was male-driven. That was really a huge competition for me to get to promotion and very challenging. The funding at universities was very limited, specifically for the appointment of people, of staff, promotions, and opportunities for research activities. Promotions were limited to the available amount for that year on the university's budget, regardless of meeting the requirements for promotions or not. And up to senior lecturer, it was not that strict. But from there on to associate and to professor, it was extremely difficult to be promoted. They perhaps may allow one associate or a professor per year, if there was money, per faculty. And in a male-driven faculty, it was very challenging for a female to get that higher positions. But I believe in taking challenges. I like challenges. And with commitment, being positive and running the extra mile, you will get there. And I never gave up.
So, Prof Susan, you eventually did your doctorate and your professorship. When and how did that happen?
My doctorate I was obtained in 1983. I'm sure some were not born, the interviewer, maybe, and the associate professor, I was awarded in 1992 and full professor in 1997. Yeah. Yes, and in both cases, the first woman, yes, in the faculty, of course.
So when would you say did things really start to change, that as women in academics had more on an equal foot than what it was? I mean, it was at some stage basically a blatant discrimination against women in terms of
yes. I think would say since the 2000s, and when the Human Act, etc., came into, I would say, in practice, and that gave us the opportunity. And I can record now that currently the Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences which was male-driven, there are 50%, they are now females. So there is definitely a difference. And since 1978, we were paid the same. Females and males were paid the same. It was just that to get on that list for promotions, that was a challenge. And then if only they allow one per faculty, the other 54 for this year will stay behind. The next year it will be another, I would say, competition to go with. So you always have to distinguish you from the mass, doing something else. And I tried to balance it between the research, because I love teaching and learning. My most awards I did get for that. And yes, on the other side, the research as well. So that combination I think made a lecturer or a person a full academic. You can't be just a lecturer.
So it's a balance between your teaching and learning and your research.
Yeah, yeah.
Susan, so my next question would be, if you need to give advice for women leaders, aspirant leaders in Africa, what is the advice you will give to them to achieve their goals?
I think a very short one is to say there are no alternatives for commitment, integrity, dedication, and quality. My advice will be to utilize every opportunity. Don't think it's meant for another one. If you see something and there's an opportunity, an invitation, take it. Make something of it. Don't ever give up. Lead by example and be part of a team. That's very important for me. Then you can take the others with you, and you will be rewarded somewhere in future. There's a saying which says that the only time that success comes before work is in the dictionary. And that is what I can say. You can't, you are not that, it won't come from heaven and you will get the success. You have to work for that. And the fact is, you never give up. You can accept the challenges because we are in the same, we are also, I would say, also a human being like males are, and everyone must have an opportunity. And if you don't have, look for it. There will always be opportunities.
I appreciate the one from the dictionary, Prof Susan. That is something that's going to stick. To conclude this interview, Prof Susan, talk to me about a legacy. What is a legacy in your mind, and how do you couple that with some practical advice to our younger academics?
For me, legacy means the impact you have on other people's lives in academia as well as in the community, because you are not just an academic. You have to lead outside as well, church, everything where you have the opportunity, and the contribution you can make to improve the career of others, as well as the difference you could make to this country a better place for all.
Yeah. No, Prof Susan, thank you so much. That means a lot. It's sometimes necessary to hear from the people who've been around the block what is the success recipe. Your contribution to this university and to thousands of students who went through your hands is acknowledged and appreciated. And thank you so much for your time in talking to you this morning.
Thank you for your time. It was a privilege. Thank you. And I feel honored. Thank you.